We dug for months, years, an eternity. And we were rewarded with madness.
I'm gonna be honest right now, Ancestor. I kind of feel the same way after how that last foray into the darkest dungeon went. So, the upshot is we have some vacancies. Let's see what the stagecoach has got for us. 4 resolve level, 3 people. How many Vestals do we have? The problem is, none of them is a Vestal. But the issue is the only Vestal we have that's available is resolve level 0. Which would mean we'd have to accept other low resolve level people and kind of cross our fingers in the hopes that the Vestal can get up to at least resolve level 2 before the others are too high level to work with her. So, honestly, I'm going to take the 4 level 3 people and then kind of let the chips fall where they may. We still have 2 Vestals and some Occultists, so that should be enough healers. Though we do need to train up a Vestal our 2 Vestals are both resolve level 3, so they're going to need some training. So we have a Houndmaster.
A lawman and his faithful beast. A bond forged by battle and bloodshed.
And a Grave Robber. And a Man-at-Arms. And a Leper.
This man understands that adversity and existence are one and the same.
You know, in this game, I'd say it's pretty accurate that existence and adversity are the same. Okay, so we're going to need funding. So the 2 people who are definitely going on this mission are Druel, which means I need at least a medium difficulty mission, Druel, and Fairfax. Who else? I'm not sure yet. Montefort can go in position 1, and so now I just need a good position 2 hero. And let's see. Now is probably the time to start looking at what my mission options are. So I believe we already have a Wrathful Bandana, though it's possible that we lost it. Immunity Mask. I feel like the Leper would have been better off if he had that before he caught leprosy. Let's see. There's the Quick Draw Charm. Heaven's Hairpin. Minus 25% stress and plus 10 accuracy for a Hellion. That's pretty good. And alternatively, the Bloody Herb, which is not really very good. All it does is enhances Incision. Incision isn't bad, but this is where we're going. And if we're going to the Wield, Blight isn't going to be terribly useful. So, you know what? The Hellion was probably the single most effective hero in our actual trip to the Darkest Dungeon. So let's bring Tina, since we have a Hellion to train up. I don't believe any trinkets are equipped, but let's find out. Sort by character class restriction. Right, we don't have the Tome of Holy Healing anymore. Sacred Scroll, can't equip a second Sacred Scroll. We don't have the Ancestor's Scroll either anymore. Oh right, you get the portrait. You actually need the portrait. Another mission I'm going to need to do at some point is to visit the Shrieker to see if we can get some of our equipment back. In the meantime, healing skills and max HP and protection are what I want for our Master Antiquarian. And we have some pretty good stuff for the Crusader, because we haven't been doing much. We haven't been doing much with the Crusader, so we haven't lost as much Crusader equipment due to deaths. So, 15% Virtue chance, as well as boost to stress resistance and death blow resistance. The reduced blight and bleed resistance could be a bit of a problem. And I'm actually going to go with the Paralyzer's Crest. He's not the main damage dealer, that's really the job of the Hellion. He's mainly there to be a second source of stuns. Okay, Hell's Hairpin isn't very good. So, I don't have very good Hellion-specific equipment. Let's see. resistance, damage, and accuracy versus marked. Useful if we had a mark exploitation team, which we don't. I'm gonna go with the crescendo box. The 15% increase to damage is gonna be good. Now for your abilities, these are the abilities you should have. Smite, Zealous Accusation, Stunning Blow, and Inspiring Cry. Nervous Stab, Festering Vapors, Get Down, and Fortifying Vapors. And the Vestal 4. I'm calling them that because they're the only 4 abilities I ever use for a Vestal. Yeah, Heaven's Hairpin is honestly going to be our first piece of Hellion-specific equipment that I'd say is actually good. Even then, it's not amazing, but accuracy does matter. And so does stress, as we see later on. That is, as we have seen from later missions, rather. Plenty of medicinal herbs, lots of shovels, and lots of torches, because the Weald has a lot of space, and I will not forget to pack a lunch, don't worry. There we go. And, yeah, the 1 holy water we get for free is enough. Let's do this. I have learned that well. Right.
Our land is remote and unneighbored. Every lost resource must be recovered.
Okay. I want everyone to take a minute, look at the screen. I want you to see this. I'm having difficulty imagining a less favorable map for this kind of mission. Commence backtracking! At this point, even the forward tracking feels like backtracking. Glad I brought a lot of torches. Alright, left luggage. One of these days, I think, we're gonna find a right luggage, but we've been finding a lot of left luggages. I know that was a bad pun, but I stand by it.
The path is clear. We require only the strength to follow it.
Unfortunately, until we have scouting all the way to the end, we have to keep going. Admittedly, we're pretty close. So far, it's all curios. It's gonna turn out that they're all,
Nature herself, a victim to the spreading corruption. Malformed with misintent.
It's gonna turn out that none of the quest locations is down this route, isn't it? I just know it. I forget about the heirlooms, but the antique
trinkets
is valuable.
and baubles, paid for in blood.
Yeah. Honestly, we're not even really getting a good return on investment for our blood. Okay. Festering Vapors on that one, because she's the hardest to reach. It would still be a slow process getting rid of her. Iron Swan on this one, because that might happen. And let's just reduce the number of times they get to inflict damage. Especially since we're going into this with nobody damaged and almost no stress, I don't need to worry about healing. So the one Enchantress is the only one who gets to do anything. And anything that she gets to do is stressful incantation. Not great, but we'll manage it. Festering Vapors again. Only 1 to 2 damage. Okay, though, that's the end of the Enchantress. This is her last attack. And what an attack it is! You know, it's appropriate that she managed to cause this much trouble with her last action. Stun resistance is 95, this has 130 base. I'm risking it. It will be very helpful if it works, and it didn't work. Well, and that also didn't work. Trying to prevent him from getting his last turn, but it didn't work. And the only thing, you know what? It would take him wait. If I move Montfort forward, all that will do is knock the Hellion back, and then she'll have to move forward. I'm just using Inspiring Cry. Unfortunately, this leaves Fairfax in not exactly the best position. Okay, there we go. Bandage, and she can move too, so she can reset the formation all by herself. Wicked Hack. Alright. I am one Wicked Hack. And Other than Fairfax not being in the best health, I'd say we're okay. Okay, light this torch up immediately.
The match is struck. A blazing star is born.
Wait. There's no point in opening chests on this when we're going in this direction because we have to come back and cover all of this again going the other way. So I can just leave this stuff here. It will still be here when we come back, and then we can collect it then. Secret door, a trap, curio. It actually happened! There are no quest locations along this route. Okay. Now let's go through the secret door. Open it with a secret key.
If only
drop the
treasure
secret holy
could
water.
The flow of otherworldly corruption.
Light up a secret torch. Drop the other secret torch, and actually, I'm gonna drop shovel number 5. It actually happened. There are no quest locations along this route. When I said that, I was kidding. I didn't mean for you to take it as a challenge.
In Radiance, may we find victory.
Okay, and commence backtracking. And because I need to do something to kill the time while I backtrack, I have a story for you all. So, the recording of this episode was delayed a little bit because the internet connection antenna on my desktop quit working, and so I couldn't connect to the internet.
Finding the stuff is only the first test. Now it must be carried home.
And I had to spend a few days troubleshooting it to figure out that the antenna was the problem and get it repaired, and get that fixed so that I could connect to the internet. Now, that shouldn't be a problem for recording the video, should it? Except, you see, Steam just decided to plant its feet and say, I'm not going to work in offline mode. You have to have an internet connection to play single-player games that make no use of the internet whatsoever. Because I feel like being a dick today. So, yeah. And I've heard that, like, you have to connect to the internet, like, once every 2 weeks or something or Steam will start to refuse to go into offline mode. But it failed on Monday, and by Wednesday, it was refusing to connect to the internet. It hadn't even been 1 week, and it still decided to just refuse to connect to the internet. So, I'll get over it, but I'm a little annoyed with the Valve Corporation right now because Steam is really supposed to be able to work in offline mode, and it just decided it didn't feel like that. It didn't feel like working. Anyway, that's the end of my rant. Back to Darkest Dungeon. Okay, none of these is unholy. I want the batteries gone first. And with a critical, the battery is gone. Let's see if we can stun the other one to keep anyone from being marked. Perfect. Okay, you get a bandage. 9 to 17. Decent chance of killing it, but no. Okay, that leaves just the grabber. So this team can inflict both bleeding and blight. Actually, you get the best anti-venom there is. Rage. Maybe not the best decision now that I think about it. Okay, no surprise you have high blight resistance. You don't. Wait, yes yeah you don't. Alright. And let's just zap it with judgment. And let's just see if we can stun the grabber. Nope, we cannot stun the grabber. We're gonna have to deal with Rend the Mark. Wonderful. Well, fortunately it missed. That's always good.
The slow death. Unforeseen. Unforgiving.
Nervous stab. Okay, just a little bit more damage and it's gone. Well, there we go.
As the fiend falls, a faint hope blossoms.
And again with the stunning blow, because I can't finish it off this round. But if it's stunned, it can't do anything to hurt
A
me.
momentary abatement.
Alright. Everybody's at full health, so depending on the turn order, we might be able to finish this fight with no one having taken any damage. Okay, we're gonna need a bit of luck with damage numbers for that to happen. Never mind. 95% stun resistance. I need to stun him again for that to happen. No surprise he resisted. Okay, judgment. Big money, and no whammy.
Formation is broken. Maintain the offensive.
I absolutely needed that crit to finish him off before he got to attack, and the
As
Vestal
victories
came
mount,
through.
So too will resistance.
Okay, even behind 150 gold, I can accept that. We have yet to encounter a quest location. They're all on this side. Okay, that was one of the better possible outcomes. That was one of the
Mind
worst
that
possible
such
outcomes.
missteps are the exception, and not the rule.
That was a rather... That hallway was a bit of an emotional roller coaster. Okay, yeah, we got another crazy guy. Where are the crazy guys all coming from?
The horror.
Like, I have to wonder, how are there this many random crazy people? Festering Vapors. Iron Swan. I need a pretty high damage roll to one, and I got... And there's Tino, always coming through when I need her to. Dazzling Light are one of the ones that hasn't gotten to attack yet. See if we can prevent it from doing so. And we have to do it just one groping swipe. Well, again with the stunning blow on the other one. Just keep as many enemies stunned as possible. Use the anti-venom, and then I'm going to go for If It Bleeds, because that will finish off the Enchantress. Preventing the stress the Enchantress would have caused is worth one anti-venom. And even with the stun resistance
As the
debuff...
light gains purchase, spirits are lifted, and purpose is made clear.
Even with the stun resistance debuff, or buff, their stun resistance is still relatively low. So it's not necessarily a bad idea to aim for a second stun on them. Though they can't do a whole lot since nobody is marked. We can hack on the one with fewer hit points.
Well struck.
Critical, but we need a little bit more to be rid of that one. Can Nervous Stab do it? No, it can't. Their blight resistance is 80. This is 130% base. Blights for how much? Blights for 3. No. There's absolutely no...
Continually onslaught.
Every time I say something, it ends up not being true.
All.
There's absolutely no way that it can one-shot, and then it does because it gets a critical. Every time.
Mortality.
I need to only
clarified in a
say
single
negative
strike.
things. That's what it is. Okay, this is Divine Grace is definitely not going to get a critical. Okay, apparently sometimes when I say things, they stay true. Adrenaline Rush. Get rid of that extra... get rid of that blight. Perfect. Because, yeah, the grabbers, that 50% protection is a bit of a problem. Especially since this team has no debuffs that can reduce protection. So, that 50% ends up actually being a lot. Well, almost. See, I didn't even finish saying it this time. I was going to say that that was going to be the end, and it ended up not being the end. Okay, is there anything worth dropping for the holy water? There really is not. We're going to need to drop stuff for the quest items. That's a lot of scouting. Okay, we have a quest location, and then just a battle. And then a quest location, and then Okay, so I'm just gonna go to the quest location and... tough call on what to drop. I'm gonna risk dropping the anti-venom.
A handsome reward for a task well performed.
Alright. And this is a quest location without a battle in it. Let's see. Alright, that's at least past the trap. Wonderful. Don't bring anybody, you can reduce the enemy's protection, and we get one of these. There's really nothing helpful that you can do other than festering vapors. Enemies with that high of protection, damage over time is really the only solution. So let's just hit you with every kind of damage over time. And fortunately, this is also a very stun-heavy team. And smite. And Montfort says, yeah, screw all that wimpy bleeding and blight crap. I'm just gonna kill this thing now. Are we actually gonna do this? Festering vapors with minimal blight resistance. We did it! It gets 0 turns. The ghoul doesn't even get to take an action before it dies. Yeah, she resisted that. I am unsurprised. However, get some inspiring cry action in there. Oh, that was a bad call. I didn't realize.
Vision.
And we got the red plague. And we now have a meaningful amount of blight after I threw out the anti-venom. I really have no one to blame but myself. I'm gonna find a way to blame someone else, but I have no one to blame but myself.
Horrors, brought low and driven into the mud.
Honestly, I'm dropping the extra stack of torches.
A fortune, waiting to be spent.
Okay. I'm gambling that there isn't going to be a second secret room. And now, well, this may be a quest location, there's no combat here. So, firewood. Let's just do a normal
Gathered
meal.
close in tenuous firelight and uneasy companionship.
Zealous vigil, prevent nighttime ambush. Zealous speech, reduce everyone's stress. Pray, reduce everyone's stress again. They may not be religious, but it'll still reduce their stress. And rest up without any midnight surprises. It's almost like I know what I'm doing. I mean, those of you longtime viewers know better. You know I don't actually know what I'm doing, but at least it looks like I know what I'm doing to the newer viewers of the channel. Stashed heirlooms are not
Wealth
important,
beyond
but
measure.
antiques are.
Awarded to the brave and the foolhardy alike.
And salvage the unburnt torch, and apparently it was an antique torch, or like an antique sconce or something. Alright, and the last one is going to be all the way on the idea. We have basically been everywhere. Okay. Well, I have the treatment for that.
Hacks laden with loot
I don't
are
need the
often
extra
low
3
on
food,
supplies.
so I'll just feed it to the Crusader. He'll eat anything. Montfort will eat anything. God damn it. Oh my god. Oh my god. Drool. Drool. What exactly were you doing in the grave that caused you to contract syphilis? Drool. How? What is it that you were doing with that dead body that you got syphilis? No, you know what? Never mind. I don't want to know. I don't want to know. Take that secret to your grave, my Vestal. I never want to know how that happened. Ugh. And there's the last one. Collect it. Drop the bandages. And I actually want to just... We're so close to the end. I'm going to find out what's at the end of this hallway. And a wonderful 50 gold. Got plenty of shovels. Okay. Okay, I seem to have bitten off perhaps more than I can chew. Let's Wicked Hack the Towering Ectoplasm to get its health down. Wicked Hack, Festering Vapors. Dazzling Light, the smaller one, to see if we can... We can't. Smite. Okay. They're not guaranteed to use their replication ability every time they can, but it's a pretty dangerous ability to get hit by. Alright. Offensively, they're not that dangerous. The main problem is just that... Alright, that one isn't dead. Iron Swan will one-shot. Okay. We're basically there. I have a plan. So, Divine Comfort. Inspiring Cry on the person with most stress. Now. Festering Vapors, we'll do 1 to 2. It has 80% blight resistance, so we're going to go with Nervous Stab. That will leave a corpse. God damn it. You had one damn turn. Okay, Iron fucking Swan.
Annihilated.
Smite. I need a big, I need big damage for Smite. And, as the final insult, rain holy judgment down on this thing. Oh, come on! Okay, try again with the nervous... Okay, see? Okay, that's how we do that.
The glory.
Let's drop the remaining torches for the citrine, because it can't hurt. Don't have any more keys. An heirloom chest that didn't contain a single heirloom. Okay, okay. Well, that was successful, if a little weird.
Infection and neutralize contagion.
So, 3 trapezohedrons in addition to everything the antiquarian was able to find. It's not quite as big as the last time we brought an antiquarian, but a cool 28,000 gold. That's nothing to complain about. And now we have our second champion level antiquarian. The Yips. -5 accuracy. And Hemophilia, wonderful. Hemophilia and Clotter at the same time. Okay, Second Wind is not really very good, especially not on a... And Fear of the Unholy is pretty bad for a Crusader to have, considering Smite. Night Owl, yeah. The quirks are pretty much all bad. They're just very, like... The positive ones aren't really helpful.
Of rare and exotic injuries makes this place perfect for the study of suffering.
Ah, another caregiver's... Oh, right. I engineered that. I forgot that that was what that mission did. I was just in it for the reward, the direct rewards. Well, let's get the diseases treat. Oh, right. You have syphilis and hemophilia. Let's go with the syphilis first. If we're lucky, it'll get the other one treated. Okay. What does the Nomad Wagon have for us? Okay, the rare stuff is all stuff we already have. The common stuff, I believe, is all... I believe we actually have every single one of these trinkets. Because I never sell anything. Let's see if Stagecoach has any, nothing terribly impressive. If I had a Resolve level 3 Vestal available, I would probably drop one of the other Vestals. Though, also... So that medium-length mission managed to make Druo go from, admittedly, relatively high Resolve level 3 straight up to 5. That was a successful mission. And T-Nail's just ready to go again now. Give me another one. I can take another one. Come on, I can take more. Anyway, This isn't the end for this part, but I am going to quick get us a fresh recording file before we proceed, so I will be back in a moment.
Our family name, once so well regarded, is now barely whispered aloud by decent folk.
Yeah, I honestly don't even remember what our family name is, Ancestor, so, yeah, there's that. Anyway, as you can tell from the bad humor, I am back, and, we have a caregivers convention. I'm gonna see what I can, lock in and or get rid of. Okay, minus 5% virtue chance is pretty bad. I may get rid of that. Let's see. Cove Explorer, Beast Hater, Last Gasp, Night Owl, Warren Scrounger. Let's see. So far, I'm not seeing anything terribly impressive in either direction. Okay, Fengophobia could be an issue. Honestly, yeah, Sortival is going in here. Sadly, Sortival has passed away. And I'm going to lock in Clutch Hitter. That's the main reason. And while I'm at it, I can get rid of Fengophobia, because that's a problem since I tend to keep my torch levels relatively high. Bernier, I'm not sure about. I might want to get rid of Kenuvil's Fear of Eldritch, because accuracy is actually really important. So, unless somebody else has something significantly worse. Let's see. Actually, a few people do, but I think I am going to get rid of Kenuvil's Fear of Eldritch. There's a lot of Eldritch in the Darkest Dungeon, and also, accuracy is really important. I'm also going to lock in Clotter, because bleed resistance is always helpful. For a Pew Show... Let's see. So, Precise Striker increases the critical of melee skills, which for him is Blackjack. Let's see about Seguier. Let's see, Dipsomania is a bit of an issue. But, let's look at the others. Let's see, Durier has some good stuff. Unyielding is always good. For the same reason that Fear of Eldritch is something I want to get rid of, Eldritch Slayer is worth locking in. There's a lot of Eldritch in the Darkest Dungeon, it seems, and accuracy is always important. And I may as well get rid of Anemic too. Reduced bleed resistance isn't that bad, at least for a Hellion who has Adrenaline Rush, but Ruminator and Stress Eater are also not that bad. So, I don't believe these are free. Yeah, those are not free, but it doesn't really matter. So, I think I looked at this before. Yeah, those are all things we've already seen. So, how about this? Alright, let's look at upgrading some people. And since I don't have it memorized who is fully upgraded and who isn't, or at least upgraded as much as their resolve level will allow. Alright. Dureri is going to be getting a lot of action in the future, so I may as well maximize him. It's likely that Altard also will. How upgraded is Fairfax? She can stay where she is. And I'm going to shower some upgrades on the more moderately leveled people. So, see, Vilhardane should get some upgrading, and honestly, that's all I can afford to spend at the blacksmith. So let's look at abilities, because leveling up abilities increases their accuracy, and accuracy is somewhat important. Let's see. So there's breakthrough, which is at least somewhat helpful. satisfied with Koliar's abilities. Let's see, the only thing that's really significantly worth upgrading further would be Emboldening Vapors. Because that could actually be very useful in certain situations. Like, apply that to a Mark exploiting team to drive the damage even higher. Alright, Bernier. Actually, before that, where's Dureri? Because his abilities are the ones that really need to be upgraded. Upgrading Transform does what? Oh, it increases the damage boost when he's in his beast form. That's definitely good. And I'm not going to shower all of the upgrades on him, so let's give a few of them to some of the more moderately leveled people. Sniper's Mark, Sniper Shot, Suppressing Fire, and Battlefield Bandage. And Blosbeville. Upgrade the usual suspects. And I'd say that's enough spending for now. So, let's see what our mission options are to decide where to go. Let's see, we could go after a Shrieker. Main problem is there will be a lot of stress as a consequence of that. However, if I were to go after the Shrieker, who would I send? Well, it's champion level. I'm only sending Resolve level 6 people. That leaves us with the options of a Houndmaster, a Leper, two Lepers, a Plague Doctor, a Jester, and a Hellion. So, let's see. Let me see, this reduces protection, so this is definitely going to be a high damage team. He does not have Cry Havoc equipped. Yes, he does. So, let's see. You for Cry Havoc. What can you do from position 4? Everything. I'm dropping Battlefield Medicine for... Wait, Blinding Gas can only hit the people in the rear position. Yeah. Same thing with Plague Grenade. Definitely no need to have both of those. I'm dropping that for Emboldening Vapors. And then Noxious Blast for close range combat. Can't use Incision from that position anyway. Putting a Hellion in position 1, and I'm going to put Koliar. And let's reverse these two. Koliar in position 3 with Inspiring Tune equipped. Yeah, you can still use Inspiring Tune, Harvest, and Slice Off. Those are the abilities I wanted to be using. Yeah, I have a plan, and it involves mitigating stress. Let's see. Plus 15% stun skill chance. That could be helpful. And why not extra blight chance? For you... Minus 25% stress sounds really good, as does, let's see. Bleeding is more useful than criticals given the ability set that you have. Spiked Collar is definitely good. And the Hound is considered to be ranged. I'm actually going to go with the plus 10 accuracy and the plus 5% critical. For you, we have Heaven's Hairpin. Nice reduction to stress and increase to accuracy. And for the other part, I can tolerate the increased stress for the extra 20% damage. I want you to be able to hit very hard. Alright, Provision. You cannot retreat from this quest. I'm sure I want to proceed. Okay. The only risks are light level, bleeding, and maybe blight. I'm not sure about blight. So I'm going to bring a little anti-venom and plenty of bandages, and let us begin. Sometimes rewarded with unique quirks. Well, a couple episodes ago, we saw what kind of a reward this thing often likes to give us. Well, let's see what we get this time. Alright. Of course it opens up the neck. Ow. Alright. 9 to 16. You're pretty much only benefiting yourself with target whistle, but I'm going to go with it. You can't resist being marked. Okay, regurgitate isn't that bad. And Iron Swan. Only 17, but that still is a fair amount. Emboldening Vapors on the guy who has the Mark Exploitation ability. Unfortunately, the reduced dodge is a bit of a problem. And you can reliably hit both. Of course, it dodged. Alright. Get you a bandage. Get you dog treats. And your damage is amplified as much as it can be. 20 to 38 without a critical. Call the murder. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. Our Houndmaster is feeling rather murdered. Right. It's noxious. Actually, you can use Emboldening Vapors again. Use it on the Hellion this time.
A brilliant confluence of skill and purpose.
Was that a critical? I legitimately did not notice. Heck, but it's on a different person.
How quickly the tide turns.
Yeah, good description, Ancestor. Good description. Alright, 28. And it gets to use regurg. Okay, good. That's exactly what I needed you to do. That, on the other hand... Okay, good. At least you missed. Right, Iron Swan again. Okay, Regurgitate won't kill him.
Teetering on the brink, facing the abyss.
Okay. Get yourself some bandages. I'm going with Harvest. Mainly, I want to increase the probability that the Thatchery dies. And you're being really generous. This is a generous Shrieker. Like, I'm honestly grateful to the Shrieker for how careful it's being to make sure that we don't all die. Alright, Battlefield Medicine on whichever. Yeah, this is what happens when the only Vestal we have is not high enough level to go on this mission.
The bigger the beast, the greater the glory.
Okay. Bandages. Right click. And Wicked Hack. That did quite a bit. Okay, Battlefield Medicine. Get the other guy off of Death's Door to at least reduce the probability that we lose anyone. Ah, I'm guessing that's a stress ability. Oh, that's a stress ability. Alright. I can't use another dog treat because one is already active. This fight is not going to last long enough for it to be worth using Target Whistle again. So, let's just go with Hound's Rush. It has at least been distributing the pecs. Unfortunately, Bertrand's stress resistance is... Bertrand's death blow resistance is about to be tested. Alright. I brought you to manage stress, but we're close enough to killing this thing that that's what I'm going to have you try to do. I mean, it's rather unlikely that we succeed. As you can see.
Assault cannot be left unanswered.
And his resolve is tested, but that's irrelevant. Oh, it's hurt. It's 2 resolve checks in just this one fight. However, that one... Haha! And Bertrand came out courageous. Do not underestimate the body. It is virile.
The backdrop of despair.
Okay. Somehow we didn't get any of our many lost trinkets back, but we did get 3 trapezohedrons, so I'm still calling that a success. Yeah, I can't really afford to do stress management when I don't have a Vestal. I ended up just focusing on inflicting damage. Oh, never mind, we get them here. Okay, we got the Ancestor Scroll and a somewhat redundant Sacred Scroll. 2 Legendary Bracers and 2 Books of Sanity. And nobody gets any experience, but... Husho is a known cheat, so fighting the Shrieker somehow caused them to find out that he's a known cheat. Actually, wait a second. Wait. Of course they figured that out now. He's a Houndmaster, and he actually managed to hit every attack in this fight. He must be cheating somehow. I mean, it's kind of meta, but I'm going with it. Though he also has Corvid's Eye, which that's... Okay, that is what being rewarded with unusual quirks looks like. Plus 8 accuracy, which he desperately needs, and 8% scouting chance. I'm liking that. I kind of want to lock that in sometime. And Koliar has a tapeworm and is also a stress eater. There's not going to be any food in the entire hamlet that isn't nailed down when he's done with it.
Ancient and crumbling, the Abbey's masonry fares no better than the faith of its congregation.
That was rather dark. It's also what I have come to expect. Let's treat the tapeworm, let's treat the stress, and then we'll figure out what to do next, because there's no way that is the end of this mission. Alright. So, Puchot and Vastal, what are you limited to? Will only pray. Yes, I'm canceling that, because it's worth losing the gold to get her some stress treatment. And Puchot can go through the penance hall. And Bertrand's stress is still dangerously high, even though it was reduced, so I'm having him get some treatment in the gambling hall. He's not a cheat. Alright. And, right, he has resolution. He will never drink. And let's see if the stagecoach has anything helpful. Not especially. Alright. And we're close enough to the edge that I'm not going to risk spending any extra gold. Getting those trinkets back was definitely worth the cost of running that operation, but let's see about what else they've got for us. Dungeon? Darkest Dungeon? Are you okay? This blank screen is not supposed to... What? That was weird. Honestly, I thought it had crashed. I figured we were just out of luck and I would have to restart the game. Well, let's see what we've got. So we can get fresh air in the tunnels and a recovery charm. Not amazing. We have a short mission for a fortunate armlet. I believe we already have one of those. A long mission that'll get us a candle of life. That's not amazing since we already have one, but the 11,000 gold could be good. And a medium mission with the commander's orders for a crusader. That's somewhat mixed, though. Where are the holy... Oh, sort by character class restriction. Where are the holy orders? Oh, right. Unequip all trinkets. I didn't do that last time. So the holy orders don't increase his ability to inflict damage. The Swordsman's Crest does for plus 10% to melee skills, but the 10% reduction in damage could be an issue, but if I'm primarily using him more to stun enemies and to keep people's stress down, this might be helpful, though, you know, no. Plus 30% to healing skills isn't good, and it only affects the stress heal that he receives, not the stress heal that he grants to his teammates. I'm going to go with fresh air in the tunnels this time. I'm going to go with this mission, on the basis that fresh air in the tunnels doesn't just make missions there easier, it also increases the resolve experience that heroes receive there. So, I'm going to bring a man-at-arms and a Vestal. Let's bring Vilhardane. Actually, no, we already have... Okay, what classes do we not have champions of? I definitely want to train up the Vestal because we need as many of those as I can with how quickly I tend to lose them. But what are the classes, sort by level, what are the classes that have no champions? So we have a Vestal, an Antiquarian, a Crusader, a Leper, a Jester, a Hellion, an Abomination, a Houndmaster, a Plague Doctor, and a man-at-arms. So we do not have a champion level occultist, or a champion level grave robber, or a champion level bounty hunter. Alright, I've decided my team composition. In addition to this, we're bringing in a cultist and a bounty hunter. Because we don't have either of those as champions. I can't bring Druel. Where's Blosbeville? Where'd she go? I must have accidentally placed her somewhere else. Yeah, that's what happened. Alright. So, you get the standard equipment of the Sacred Scroll and the Ancestor Scroll, because we don't have the Tome of Holy Healing. We're mostly dealing with beasts, not eldritch, so... this isn't... Eldritch Killing Incense isn't really helpful, and neither is Evasion Incense. So... let's see. Honestly, Wilbur's Flag with the 15% stun resistance and the increased dodge makes him a good secondary healer. And then... oh, one of you needs to have the Ancestor's Portrait. That's going to be you. So I'm going to give you the Ancestor's Scroll, since that increases the effectiveness of Weird Reconstruction. Alright, what do we still have for... okay. Wounding Helmet. I definitely want that. And then just anything that does a good boost to the damage of melee skills. Legendary Bracer should do it. We lost most of our good man-at-arms. We lost all of our man-at-arms specific equipment, but the Flesh's Heart is always useful. And honestly, the Blight and Disease resistance of the Hag's Lid. For abilities, you have... I'm going to trade Command for Retribution. For you... I like your ability set. For you, in position 3, yeah, I like that. And the Vestal has what the Vestal always has. Okay, let's do this. Let's continue training up our new team. Alright, we have a good number of shovels. Plenty of medicinal herbs, because there's a lot of opportunity to use those. Bring some food, don't need too much food. 12 should do, since we're likely to find food. A couple of keys. I believe there's a use for holy water, and we're almost certainly going to have a use for anti-venom and bandages. Need more anti-venom. And plenty of torches. Bringing light into a very dark place. You know, it's kind of interesting, the wording of the swine are resistant to disease, which kind of implies that we could inflict
the swine
disease.
draw power from their horrid markings and crude idols. Tear them down.
Okay. Oh, let's go this way. And... loot! Ooh, a map. Whoa, it just keeps... this is like the Energizer scouting. It just keeps going and going and going. Okay, that's 2 quest locations. Okay, so here, here, and here are our quest locations. In that case, maybe I should have gone this way. Well, I want whatever this treasure is. Of course, in order to get the treasure, we're going to need to do some violence.
A blazing star is born.
You can reach the spawn with Crush. Let's just go with that. Ooh, that attack has some range on it. Alright. Vulnerability Hex. The high protection is a bit of a problem, but I don't think it will be enough of a problem. And if you didn't want vomit, don't come into the Warrens. No? Oh, exactly what I was hoping would happen.
Blossoms.
So now, between the extra damage versus marked and the extra damage versus human, actually that protection value does matter a little bit. Never mind. Right. 5 to 9. Do I dare? Didn't even matter because it missed. Actually, I know what I should have done. I should have just had him heal himself. What are judgment? 3 to 5. No. Alright. You heal everyone. The occultist can fix himself later. And he's clearly going to have a lot to fix. Alright. Just finish this one off.
Their formation is broken. Maintain the offensive.
And 7 to 13. So yeah, without a critical, you're not one-shotting that thing. Though, the man-at-arms generally does not one-shot things. That's just not his role.
Cannot be left unanswered.
And the Vestal's rabid. Wonderful. Well, let's make use of that, shall we? When I try to turn a problem to my advantage, it ends up still being a problem when I'm done with it. Like so. Let's drag him over here. Or not. Well, let's see about this. Okay, there. That's what was supposed to happen. And kill him with Weakening Curse, because that's funny. So uncivilized. And Crush is always... At this point, I don't even need him to be marked. I just need him to be dead. Get some quick healing. That healing goodness. This is really... The marking exploitation is really not necessary, but... Alright, and
this expedition at least promises success.
I'm not using a key on... I probably should have used a key on that one. I didn't use a key because it contains a... it only contains heirlooms. It isn't worth spending a key for that. Also, we didn't really bring anybody who's good at disarming traps. Alright.
The way is lit. The path is clear.
Now for a
We
little bit more
require
violence.
only the strength to follow it.
Ah, maggots. Violence and maggots. Alright, sacrificial stab on this one.
Another abomination, cleansed from our
I choose to
lands.
imagine that Boissel is just offended by the existence of these things, and so he's going all in on
Back to the
crushing them.
pit.
Alright. Now the one least likely to get the kill. As I said. And finish the job.
Another one falls.
I can forgive the Vestal for not being able to one-shot the enemy. That's not something I get to say very often. So she is rabid, so her damage should be increased. That's also not something I get to say very often. Either way, it's immaterial. Here we go.
Executed with impunity.
And the game itself decided, yeah, that fight was easy enough that it didn't even warrant a, I don't think that's a positive thing. The game decided that that didn't even warrant a, any kind of reward. Alright. Decimate the shrine. So we reduced the shrine by 10%. I'm actually going to go this way and then circle around because I want to get whatever the contents of that chest is. Maybe a mistake, but I'm making it.
Such blockages are unsurprising. These tunnels predate even the earliest settlers.
I mean, at this point, are you surprised that I repeatedly do things that I shouldn't? In fact, if you are surprised that I'm doing something that's probably a mistake, hello, welcome to the channel. My name is Science Viking. I'm sure you'll get used to the incompetence eventually. Reaver, Gorer, and 2 spawn, just like last time. There's really no efficient way to take this guy out, but he's dangerous enough. Well, sort of. The efficient way to take him out involves getting a critical. However, now he's been reduced enough that Collect Bounty will kill him. Do a bit of
The
healing.
wounds of war can be healed, but never hidden.
Actually, it could still not kill him. Of course, now is when I get a critical.
A brilliant confluence of skill and purpose.
Why, thank you. Ooh. Okay, that's just a debuff. Though the debuff is That's the thing. It isn't just that there's a lot of things that can cause disease. A lot of things inflict debuffs that reduce disease resistance. Like, look at that. Oh, it didn't hit, so I can't show you. I'm actually gonna go with Weakening Curse. I don't need, I do need it to hit, but I don't need his, well, let's see if I can pull him. I don't really need him to be marked if I can reduce his protection. Let's also see if I can stun him just to keep him from fighting. Okay, he's out next turn. And so is he because of... That will still take another crush. But yeah, Vomit actually... So, it just keeps reducing your debuff resistance in addition to actually giving you disease. And now the Vestal is diseased again. Okay. Let's just go with Sacrificial Stab.
Press this advantage. Give them no quarter.
And yeah, damage 11 to 23. If it hits, he dies. No, I'm gonna go for the stun. I should not have gone for the stun, but I'm doing it again anyway. Weird reconstruction on the one guy who's bandaged. And you even got a good healing number that you then decided to undo. Well, we have bandages. Finish him.
Continue the onslaught. Destroy them all.
Okay, the loot from the fight at least was good. The loot from the fight was actually better than the loot from the chest. The battle was more profitable than the chest was. Okay. Swine Marcher. He's top priority. Alright. 7 to 13. Without a critical, you won't kill it. The Rampart will only do 3 to 6. I'm gonna gamble and lose that you can reduce its health and... What kind of an idiot am I? Collect bounty can't reach him. Screw it. Come hither. That kind of removes the benefit of marking him with, removes the benefit of marking him with the other ability, but, okay, let's see if Judgment can finish it off. Alright, that's at least one fewer problems that we have. And this guy's going down next turn.
Good vision. The end approaches.
So you used an ability that tends to knock people back on the guy in position 3. What did you think that would accomplish? Yeah, he gets one last attack. Fortunately, it's a big attack. And... yeah, I don't have an ability that removes corpses. I can do this, though.
And power.
And fail because it resisted the move effect. Well, let's see if this can... Okay, something actually worked as intended, finally. Let's see what kind of turn order we end up with this time. Okay, I'm gambling that either the Man-at-Arms or the Vestal goes before the Bounty Hunter. Watch me be wrong. Nope, I got it. Get rid of the corpse. I don't have a corpse clearing ability, but I can just use good old-fashioned violence to clear them. 14 to 29. It could kill him or not, and it did. Okay. That's the opposite of what usually happens when I take a risk.
So too will resistance.
Okay, I want to find out what this does. That debuff, I kind of figured that. And I did it anyway. Ah, bandits. Just realized I forgot to give the bounty hunter Wolf's trinket. I specifically looked at it and thought I should give this to the bounty hunter, and then I never gave it to the bounty hunter. Mark the target.
Executed.
Okay. Rampart, it only knocks him back once, so we'll be in position 2, and we'll still be reachable for the bounty hunter. Or it will just fail. 17 to 34. Let's see what we get. 27. Not bad. And we actually don't really want to stun the Bloodletter because he isn't the main source of damage. And it doesn't really matter a whole lot because we didn't get to stun anyone. And at this point, the Vestal really needs to focus on healing. Point-blank shot is bad, but the other abilities are actually worse. And because of the way the turn order works, it can actually be worse when we surprise them. Okay, I'm gonna gamble on something. Mark for multiple turns. Okay. And Shank missed. Things are looking up. Judge, nah, heal. Just go for the healing. You can even get critical healing. Alright, Rampart again. Partially because I want you back in position 1. And yeah, I'm not going to get the knockback I was hoping for. I keep hoping to knock him back into positions 2 and 3 because I want at that cut through.
The bigger the beast, the greater the glory.
Okay, 5 to 10 the sacrificial stab. If that had been 10, I could have had the Vestal finish him off.
A dizzying blow to body and brain.
Yeah, and the bounty hunter was hit hard too. Alright, so come hither on the Fusilier. Get him all the way in the front. And Retribution on the Fusilier to take your frustrations out on him. I bring 2 healers, and I somehow don't have... He actually did negative healing. Okay. At least there's no more blanket fire. Back to basics with Retribution.
To a killing blow.
Yeah. The bounty hunter is just not having a good day. It is just not his day. His allies keep damaging him. Enemies keep being just barely out of reach. And he gets to take his frustration down on the Bloodletter. To vent his frustrations on the Bloodletter.
But a victory nonetheless.
Alright. Keep going. Oh, free torch. Unfortunately, we don't have an antiquarian, so we can't recognize that it's actually a special, valuable antique torch. Or no, you still get the torch when you have the antiquarian, you just also get an antique, so it must be like on an antique sconce or something. And... oh, right, this is just a quest location, not even like room battle and quest location. And... there's one more room... there's a room battle and a hallway battle left in this mission, so... light up the firewood.
A spark without
full.
kindling is a goal without hope.
Sanctuary, unless we have... yeah, we don't have any other... the only other ability we have that could prevent nighttime ambush is Unspeakable Commune, but Sanctuary is basically just better. I mean, Unspeakable Commune costs 1 fewer time units. And the Vestal is the only one with an ability that reduces everyone's stress. So after that, I'm just going to have everybody work on reducing the Vestal's stress, because she's the most stressed. Okay. Everybody's stress is down to an acceptable level, and we're out of time. Get some sleep, guys. You've earned it.
The light, the promise of safety.
Alright, let's see what this hallway battle looks like.
The twisted faces
I
of
should have
damned,
known.
piled high and cloaked in malice.
Weakening curse. There's a plan. Rampart. And collect bounty. We've done a lot to him. Stun resistance is 120%, so let's just go with healing, because we're all not in the best of health. And double critical healing from our Vestal. Just what we needed. And now I may as well use vulnerability hex on the off chance that the bounty hunter goes before him, but the bounty hunter doesn't. And now for the reason why I didn't originally use vulnerability hex is because I have to use come hither for him to be within reach of collect bounty. And we may as well go with crush. And I'm gonna top everybody up on healing because no. I'm preventing the man-at-arms from using head games if I can. He could defender the collector, and that could be a serious problem. Alright. Let's do some good old sacrificial stabbage. Headhunt. Oh. And even when he's doing very well, Pennant is not having a good day. Actually, for the same reason as before, I believe the collected Vestal can heal him. Headache. Let's prevent her from doing that. Alright. They got a bandage. And I know, because she's the only one with an action left, I know the Vestal gets to go next. Alright, 17 to 34. Won't one-shot without a critical. But he is already pretty much in a world of hurt. Sacrificial Stab cannot realistically one-shot him, so I'm gonna go with keeping the
in the fevered pitch of battle.
Yeah, you have not been having the best day. His blood just does not want to stay in his veins. Just everything is causing bleeding for that poor guy. I'm really feeling bad for Pennant. He's doing his job really well. And he just keeps bleeding for all kinds of different causes. And the pack contains loot, a shovel, and some gold. Still, that went somewhat better than I expected. That went somewhat better than this is probably going to go. Okay, you have only 15% protection. The bounty hunter can't reach the other one, so I'm just going all in on damaging this thing as much as I can. Which means I can't safely use Rampart because that will knock it out of range of the bounty hunter. I'm just going with Retribution. Being a marked target is not ideal, but I can keep him healed. Collect bounty, only 13 to 25. Alright. And Blosbeville, I have a very simple job for you. Stun something. Anything. Really should have known with the 95% stun resistance. You know, it's not just bleeding. He is a magnet for critical hits today. Alright. However, even though I could use Weird Reconstruction, I'm taking a bit of a risk in going for Vulnerability Hex anyway. And for a second when I saw that resisted thing, I thought that it had somehow resisted being marked. Only 10 to 20 because of the high protection, but it's at least something. Alright, yeah. Defend your teammate there, Bojo. Alright, yeah, I'm gonna get everything I can out of, yeah, he's using Trot Retreat. I'm gonna gamble that we'll probably be okay, but the first thing I need to do is get the bounty hunter as healed as I can. He's defended, but I don't remember if Pig Spear deals damage to everyone, or if it only deals a lot to one person. I think it hits everyone, which is a bit of a problem. Sacrificial Stab, 6 to 11.
Size alone does not dissuade the sharp blade.
And apparently the game is watching out for me, because now that he's dead and there isn't a corpse there, he's not in position 4 anymore, and he cannot use Pig Spear. Crunching backhand on the person with the most defense. Just a nice, cozy bit of healing. And he's still marked for 1 round. let's take away some of that protection that keeps causing me problems. Alright. And of course the critical healing wouldn't happen to Pennant because he is apparently cursed. Okay. Only 95% stun resistance versus 130% base chance to stun. I think we've reached the point where that is not what the odds say should happen. It's within the realm of possibility, but I think we've officially reached an unlikely distribution of outcomes. Like, statistically, it should have hit once by now. Rampart may not kill it. Nope, Rampart kills it.
Balls.
Light one
As
torch
the
and
light
then I'm going
gains
to drop.
purchase, spirits are lifted,
No
and
idea
purpose is made clear.
No idea what to do with the bow and altar, so I'm not risking it. And a crate. And what's in the crate? Heirlooms are in the crate. I don't need heirlooms.
For a task well performed.
And here's our last quest location. And let's break out the pickaxe. And let's just return to the hamlet. And of course, Pennant is coming away from this with a kind of high stress level.
Ignorant, if such a thing were possible.
He's got and Pennant came out of this with a kind of high stress level, which is appropriate since he's been discovering that the universe apparently hates him on a very deep and personal level. And we have a new champion emerges. We have another level 6. This time the... So he got the creeping cough. What did Pennant get? Wasting sickness, reduced disease resistance, of course. He just gets all the fun. And we have a Cove foe. Yep, 3/4 of the team has diseases. Yeah, that sounds like the Warrens to me.
The twisting tunnels no longer exhale the toxic stench of degeneracy.
Okay, well, let's first visit the sanitarium, and, I'll go with the one that reduces max HP. We'll treat that one first. Okay, who else is diseased? I believe the other, Druel, I guess, got lucky and more than one of her diseases were treated, because she had 2 going in. And Pennant is wasting sickness. Yeah, it's wasting because treating all the diseases you get while you have it is a waste of time and money. Alright. What do you have? Raider's Talisman, Stalwart Buckle. 5% critical is actually rather nice. I'm gonna buy that. And the other thing is, I haven't been keeping up with everybody's camping skills, so... You're good. You're good. Let's see. You're good. Let's see. Eldritch Blood is okay. Watch Therapy Dog, Man's Best Friend. Release the Hound! Right. Let's see, Sword of All. Yeah, the high-level people all appear to be good. Let's look at the low-level people. Though they also appear to be pretty good with their camping skills. Get you Encourage. Pilfer could be helpful. Pennant is busy. Turn back time. That's a very useful ability. Right. Yeah, I need to make sure the B team has some of their better... and yeah, Touche definitely should have Reflection. And there's not a whole lot else to do, so I'm gonna just do another mission to exploit fresh air in the tunnels. Bumper crop. We have a lot of people who are about to get into, we have a lot of people who are about to be high enough level to get their final upgrades. Bumper crop could be pretty helpful. And for this team, I've already decided who I want. Montefort, Altard, Seguier, and Druel. Alright. Unequip all trinkets. Sort by character class restriction. Holy orders. And Paralyzer's Crest. I don't think any of you need the portrait to reach your maximum level by the end of this mission. So, alright. Let's see, the Berserk Mask. You're definitely getting the Fortunate Armlet. And yeah, I'll give you the Berserk Mask. For you, the Candle of Life. And the Carapace Idol. And for you, the Sacred Scroll. And so you are 8 plus 3, which is 11 Resolve experience away from max level. You don't need the portrait for that, so you get the Ancestor's Scroll. Okay. If only there was a supply item that prevented disease. And the focus ring could also be pretty good. Let's see. Nah, this is only short, and the fasting... I'm not impressed by the fasting seal. It's good in a vacuum, but realizing that it would be displacing another trinket, I'm not doing it. So, let's get some grain. A couple of these, one of these, one of that. Plenty of anti-venom, and as we learned last time, there's going to be some bleeding, too. Shovels, food. Once again, probably only need 12 food. Need plenty of torches, though. Okay. That looks prepared. These missions used to seem completely unreasonably difficult, and at this point, I'm actually okay with them.
Even the fiercest beast will lay down when it is not eaten. Steal their food.
Curio. Quest location. Curio. Room battle with treasure. So, just go straight this way. Part of it is the fact that that somebody told me that scouting actually... Bloodthirsty. What does that do? That's not good. So Paranormania and Bloodthirsty. We're gonna need to get those fixed. Somebody mentioned that if you hover over it, it says whether it's a quest location or not. That does make this a lot easier. Okay, large flesh eater and 2 smaller flesh eaters. Well, there's only one thing you can do, and that was it. Festering Vapors is worthless. Nervous Stab could do some good, though. Right, Dazzling Light on the big flesh eater.
Blow.
And it's just a beast, so smite it. Smite the beast. Okay, so we have to deal with being munched a little bit, but we should be okay. On the other hand, perhaps not. Well, that's the end of him.
Monstrous size has no intrinsic merit, unless inordinate exsanguination be considered a virtue.
So admittedly, the lack of movement abilities in this team is a bit of a problem.
A momentary abatement.
That's what a champion level Vestal looks like. 16 healing from Divine Comfort. You badly need anti-venom. And there's not a lot you can do except try to get rid of the corpse. Yeah, that's a bit of a flaw with this team composition. We don't really have any good moving abilities, and we also don't have any good Wait, we have Purge. Well, I suppose it didn't really make a difference because Chop also got rid of the 1 corpse, but I do actually have a corpse clearing ability. It would have been cool to prevent it from getting a turn. Well, I can do it that way. Okay, let's see. Am I actually going to end this fight with everyone at 0 stress?
Continue the onslaught.
Yep.
Destroy them all.
Exquisite. That is a good turn. That is a good thing to
If
call
only
that.
treasure could staunch the flow of
Now let's move
otherworldly
to this
corruption.
room. I'm not touching that scroll. That is a trap of some kind. I don't know what kind, but some kind. I'm telling you, it's some kind of trap. Alright, everybody's blight resistance is really high, so, everybody wail on the Slayer, because I don't have any abilities that reduce protection. Unfortunately, this isn't gonna be enough. Yeah, without a critical, we weren't ever going to kill him in one. Once again, you use ball and chain on someone who's already in position 3. Well, I suppose the stunning effect is helpful. It still just seems kind of funny. It's like, you're in 3, I'm knocking you back to 4. Though I suppose there are heroes where that's actually an issue. And now they get to take their second turn before I get to take a turn. And the Vestal has the Black Plague. Okay, are any of them not faster than us? Okay, he's not faster than us. 7 to 13. What's the chance of stun? His stun resistance is only 65%. Alright. And Hugh.
Press this advantage. Give them no quarter.
5 to 10. Without a critical, it's not killing him, so just stick with the healing.
Compassion is a rarity in the fevered pitch of battle.
I always underestimate just how hard the Vestal is actually able to hit people using Judgment. And he's gonna give everybody a splitting headache. 8 to 15. I got a wonderful Grinchy idea. I could have used Purge, but if I use Hue and Zealous Accusation, the drummer is dead and the other one and the corpse is cleared. And the main use of the Antiquarian in this situation is Fortifying Vapors. Because it also increases disease resistance, which is kind of important down here. Since a lot of enemies have it, and that's the Vestal's second disease. And Drool got 2 diseases last time, too. Some people just have all the luck. Drool is kind of the opposite of that. And Hugh, in the interest of getting rid of that corpse, as well as that pig. And, well, he managed to dodge the mean words, but the other one wasn't so lucky. And lethargy. So that's 3 diseases in 1 battle. I think this is a new record. Anyone want to correct me on that, but I believe that's the most diseases we've ever gotten in 1 fight before. Okay, that's a no. That is a yes, however. I like yes a lot more than no. Okay, drop the beads for the sapphires. Okay, and it's a trap. Fortunately, it isn't a very effective trap. Okay, this is where the scouting ends, so we're gonna have to go down this hallway just a bit of peace. And we're greeted with an insatiable ghoul.
The match is struck. A blazing star is born.
I only have one good thing to say about the ghoul, and that is that its blight resistance is low. And as I say that, I fail to blight. 8 to 15. Okay, this might work, it might not. It's looking more like not. But 7 to 12. I'd need a critical, never mind. And you're worried I might fail? Okay, I'm gonna really fail. I was hoping to get rid of those 2 before they got a turn, but no. No, this fight's gonna be a challenge. Oh, I suppose the lesson here is welcome to champion level missions. They've missed you.
Gnawing uncertainty. The birthplace of dread.
Okay. And we're not going to be using the Vestal to keep people stunned anymore.
Confidence surges as the enemy crumbles.
Stick with festering vapors. It's what you're good at. Or possibly not. Anti-venom. Zealous accusation to at least get us started on getting rid of that front corpse. Anti-venom, and we need healing. And its stun resistance is 90%. Stunning it was always a pipe dream. But you can at least I really should have used Purge that time. That was actually a mistake. Okay, 40% chance to stun. I'm willing to take that risk. And it paid off. Moved up with the Divine Comfort. So we can stun him even though it... Okay, now it works. I was going to say, we can stun him even though his stun resistance is 90%. But we can't blight him even though... Ooh. Even though his blight resistance is only 60%. That's the end of the stun, and now he has 140% stun resistance. We're not stunning him again. However, we might be able to kill him before he gets his next action. Though that is not a good sign. Okay, he has... I need you to do at least 13. Okay! Was that a called shot? Right? Oh, you need 13? Okay, I'll give you exactly 13.
Prodigious size alone does not dissuade the sharpened blade.
These can stay where they are.
As the light gains purchase, spirits are lifted, and purpose is made clear.
Okay, and this is going to turn out to have been a complete fool's errand. Yep, there's nothing here. But at least we've inspected it. Though we got decent loot from that ghoul. And now I'm going to have to inspect the nothing on this side too, just to make sure.
Such blockages are unsurprising. These tunnels predate even the earliest settlers.
That's actually the main downside of these kinds of missions, is there's not a lot you can do to plan. You know, shit just kind of happens. Though, after that last one, after the one we had at the beginning of this episode, actually, yeah, that was the beginning of this episode, with the two paths, so it's split perfectly down the middle. Compared to that, nothing is hard. Nothing is hard when it's standing next to that. Alright. Okay, so the damage dealers can only hit the large flesh eater anyway, so we may as well just nervously stab them. It doesn't... When enemies resist blight this much, there's barely anything that the antiquarian can do.
Executed.
Though, honestly, she's doing her part just by getting fat loot. Though, all we've gotten from her so far is 3 minor antiques. And for you, as usual, diminish the number of attacks we get hit by next
may
turn.
we find victory.
And smite and miss. Apparently I managed to evade the wrath of God. It's like tax evasion, but way more impressive. Oh. Okay. 5 to 9. Yep, nervous stab can finish the job.
Perhaps the turning point.
Okay, inspire yourself a little bit, because I want you farther away from death. Honestly, I probably should have just used it on the Vestal to reduce the stress. Because there's going to be some stress. Right. And the Antiquarian managed to shank the opponent, and Purge requires you to be in position 1, and I didn't realize that. Lovely. Well, we have Chop, which in this situation is kind of budget Purge. Alright. You're not going to be able to one-shot it, so stun it. Exactly. Just have you move into... I originally set you up in position 2, but honestly, I need you to be able to use Purge. Ooh, and I need you to be able to use Smite correctly. There, see, the Vestal is showing you how to become an avatar of Divine Vengeance. That is how you do that. That is how you properly smite the enemy.
Felled. They can be beaten.
Alright, I'll drop a stack of torches for the emerald. Honestly, I probably should have dropped the holy water a while ago. And the pack has already been looted. Okay, there's not a lot of space left for the grain sacks to be, and we know where one of them is. Okay, dropping the holy water for this one.
Packs laden with loot are often low on supplies.
And we may as well light up the firewood. Baby,
Huddled
light
together,
my fire.
Furtive and vulnerable.
Healing and stress reduction.
Rats in a maze.
You don't have sanctuary. No, but you have zealous vigil. Good. Right. You have prey. You encourage the Vestal. And stand tall on who has the most stress. The Vestal has the most stress. Okay, rest up. Get us all nice and healed.
The light, the promise of safety.
And oh, right. I had the wrong character doing that. That should have been the antiquarian.
The way is lit. The path is clear. We require only the strength to follow it.
Alright, and our last quest location. And of course there's a fight here. So if there's a quest location in a room, it doesn't tell you whether or not there's a fight. Well, good news is you can actually do meaningful damage to the cutthroat when the other two can't. This is a situation that's a lot more in the antiquarian's in the antiquarian's wheelhouse. And the leper, not to be outdone, gets yet another critical. However, smite won't kill, so stunning blow.
Precision and power.
And so instead, stunning blow decides to almost kill. Well, let's see if we can double up on those stuns. Just the one lonely Fusilier, all by himself. Okay, that's the end of the bloodletter. Still have, and the blank. Even though we have reduced dodge, the blanket fire still manages to fail. Ooh.
A dizzying
Slice and dice doesn't know. Let's see. Yeah, keep it up in the vapors. Once the corpse is gone, it won't matter whether they're in position 1 or position 2. In the meantime, I'm just going to have Montfort keep the stress levels down. Because we just need to wait for the leper to get his turn.
Pitch of battle.
In the meantime, I think this still won't quite finish him. He gets one more action before he dies. I believe he gets 2. But Purge. And smite. Wait, smite won't. Once again, smite will not kill. So go for stunning blow. Montfort has a fear of mankind, doesn't he? I think he's the one who does. Let's find out. Yes, so he has reduced. That's why his accuracy numbers have been so low. He has reduced accuracy against human enemies. And against unholy, which is a bit of a problem for a Crusader. Keep it up with the poison now that you're fighting enemies that are susceptible to it. And yeah, you guys are pretty much boned.
Obliterated.
Definitely boned. Ooh, that was
a trifling victory.
That was a profitable fight. The fights have been more profitable than the loot a lot of the time this episode. Anyway, let's get back to the hamlet.
These foodstuffs yield double benefit. The town may eat, and the swine will not.
Caretaker. What does that achievement mean, I wonder? I'll have to look that up later. Even with an antiquarian, we didn't really make that much money. Well, 10,000 isn't bad, but usually when we bring an antiquarian, we get more than that. More importantly, one of my main goals was I got these 3 up to resolve level 6. And we have Altard as a wield phobe, and Druil is bulimic. Wait, that's 3. Druil,
A modest offering from those few surrounding farms as yet untouched by the spreading calamity.
There's Druil on my, sort by level. Druil has 3 different diseases simultaneously. Oh, let's get you to... Okay, Druil, let's get you to the sanitarium quick. Of course, the Black Plague gives you reduced disease resistance. No wonder you have so many diseases. And lethargy isn't that bad, but let's get it treated. Okay, nobody else has any diseases, and nobody else has... Honestly, it's somewhat inefficient, but I'm actually going to give Pennant some stress treatment, just in case. He's just above the line where I feel like it's too much of a risk to send him with that much stress. And Koliar needs some help, too. Koliar needs some healing. Now, I think at this point this is going to be the end for this episode. I was actually hoping to take another run at the Darkest Dungeon before the end of the episode, but we still aren't prepared. I need to do one, partially because I want to bring Montfort with me to the Darkest Dungeon. I want to bring a Crusader next time. And so we still aren't really ready to bring somebody to the Darkest, to take another run at the Darkest Dungeon, especially since also, in addition to Montfort, Druil, our only champion level Vestal, is also out for at least a week. So I don't really want to do another another regular mission and another Darkest Dungeon run in this episode. So this is going to be the end for this part, but pretty certainly next week I will actually be going back to the Darkest Dungeon, and you can watch me die horribly again. Anyway, thank you all for watching. I love you all, and I'll see you next time when we see if the 3rd time really is the charm at the Darkest Dungeon, or if things manage to go terribly wrong just in a different way.